My name is Michael Hawkins, and I'm the Associate Athletic Director for Media Relations here at Francis Marion University. I'd like to welcome everyone to this auspicious occasion, especially the honorees and their special guests. We hope that you understand our decision to move the ceremony indoors. We had to make that call at about 3 o'clock this afternoon, and with a dark forecast, we thought that this would be the prudent move to move it indoors. This evening, you will meet the honorees as the program progresses. But at this time, I would like to introduce Dr. Fred Carter, the 4th President of Francis Marion University. Also, there are several members of the FMU Board of Trustees in attendance today. If they will please stand when I call their name, and if you will hold your applause until all have been recognized. George McIntyre, W.C. Stanton, Eddie Gunn, W. Coleman, Ken Jackson, and Randy Dozier. Today, we are here to dedicate the R. Gerald Griffin Athletic Complex and 5 of the areas within the complex. In 1974, as a 4th grader, my dad took me to the dedication game of the original Clifford S. Cornell Field across the street. I can remember going to baseball camp as an elementary school student and getting to play on the AstroTurf. And I can also remember when the soccer team played some night matches in the outfield grass of the baseball stadium, even crossing slightly onto the edge of the plastic grass. Now, if we were across the street, I would have said at this time, please look around and see how far we've come. But you can also look at some of the slides up here, and you see where we're going. This new complex includes 3 playing venues, a 4-acre lake, and a field house. It encompasses 39 acres and cost approximately $11.1 million. The road to completion began with the hiring of Odell Associates as the architect. Martin Engineering was the contractor. Construction began in December of 2010, and the first event held within its gates was the April 11th baseball game against the University of South Carolina. Beginning this August with our men's and women's soccer schedules, we will embark on our first full year of play on these new fields. Not only will these pristine playing surfaces benefit our programs, giving us first-class facilities to show potential recruits, but the availability of lights will allow for new audiences to attend and enjoy Patriots soccer and softball contests. In my profession, it's rare that one gets to open a new facility. I have the privilege of working and opening 3 new facilities. Having already worked and hosted contests at both the baseball and soccer fields, or excuse me, baseball and softball fields, I look forward to working at Hartzler Field in the fall. I've told many of my colleagues that it is my hope that one day they get to experience what I felt on April 11th, not even taking into the account the outcome of that ball game, the atmosphere and buzz on that night in our new stadium will be something that I'll never forget. Each of the individuals being honored today have played a significant role in Francis Marion University athletics over the past 40 years. Today, they are being recognized by having a facility named for them, which is commemorated by a cast bronze plaque mounted at each location. In an attempt at brevity for this program, we will have photo opportunities at the conclusion of all of the presentations. The first facility we are recognizing is Sparrow Stadium, named in memory of Henry Booker Sparrow and Nellie Cook Sparrow. Representing the Sparrow family for today's presentation is John Sparrow. If Mr. Sparrow and Dr. Carter will please join me at the podium. This facility was made possible by a generous gift from John W. Sparrow and family, and named in memory of his parents, Henry Booker Sparrow and Nellie Cook Sparrow. The Sparrow family has consistently displayed its dedication to enhancing the educational and extracurricular experience of students in the PD region. They have given generously to support scholarships for students and endowed chairs for faculty. With this gift, the Sparrow family has provided a first-class facility for the FMU baseball program, which will improve the quality of experience of our student athletes in a visible and meaningful way for generations to come. In celebrating moments of great victory, the Francis Marion University community will forever be grateful to the family who made Sparrow Stadium a reality.
Well, without any preamble, I'd like to congratulate all the honorees today. I followed your careers down through the years, and your contribution to Francis Marion is well known throughout the community, and I thank you for your service down through the years to Francis Marion. To Coach Nabonet and the Francis Marion baseball team, Coach, I don't know how many members of the team are here, but if they aren't here, you'll need to relay my message to them. I want to congratulate Coach Nabonet and the baseball team for their landmark victory over the South Carolina Gamecocks on April 11th. And you couldn't have picked a better time to do it, the opening night of the new stadium, and probably the biggest crowd ever to witness a baseball game at Francis Marion were there. And you wrote yourself a page in the Francis Marion history book, and you reminded all of us of something that we know but we keep forgetting, that hard work and determination will get you anywhere you want to go in life. And more important than all of that, Coach tells the players when they come back 15 years from now to see a baseball game, everybody will still be talking about that game. And I'm proud of them and proud for them. Both of my parents were baseball fans, and I'm sure that they're real proud that their name is on this beautiful stadium. And on behalf of my family, I'd like to thank the officials of Francis Marion for allowing us to take this small, small part in the future of Francis Marion University. Thank you.
The second facility that we're going to recognize tonight is the Griffin Athletic Complex, named in honor of R. Gerald Griffin. If Mr. Griffin would please join Dr. Carter at the podium. Gerald Griffin retired in 2000 after serving as athletic director and head baseball coach at our university for 28 years. He started the baseball program in 1973, and under his leadership, the Francis Marion Athletic Program grew from 7 to 14 sports, transitioned from NAIA status to NCAA Division II affiliation, and incorporated an aggressive Title IX program. One of the most successful collegiate coaches in the nation, he is a member of the NAIA National Hall of Fame. Coach Griffin leaves a legacy of athletic achievement on the playing field and academic success in the classroom. This new complex honors his service and dedication to Francis Marion University and the student athletes he inspired.
Wow, this is incredible. Totally unexpected when Dr. Carter called me maybe 6 months ago and gave me the news. There are just so many people, and I'll start going down this list here. Thanks to Rufus Hackney for bringing me south, to Dr. Smith for hiring me during the summer of 1972, to Dr. Stanton and Dr. Vickers for tolerating me, to Dr. Carter and the Board of Trustees for this outstanding recognition. I owe this to so many people, as I just stated, of the FMU community, which includes the faculty, the staff, the administration, Patriots Brigade members, volunteers, fans, coaches, assistant coaches, and above all, the student athletes. I'd like to emphasize each segment that assisted athletics through service, success, and longevity. The staff, represented by Alice Beatty, Frances Elmore, Dolores Miller, Eleanor Rogers, and Teresa Wachowski. The administration, represented by Marvin Lynch, our admissions director, who assisted me with the dimensions of Cornell Field with a fungo. The coaches, represented by Sylvia Hatchell, Lewis Hill, Murray Hartzler, and Garth Thompson. The faculty is represented by athletic professors, Dr. Rufus Hackney and Dr. Tom Whiteley. Our assistant coaches are represented by my first assistant, the late Tom Davidson, and my last assistant, Arden Abbott, who is doing a pretty darn good job as head coach. The Patriots Brigade, which is an early bonding organization for the PD through our golf and tennis tournaments, was led by volunteers such as Alan Ham, Wayne High, and Carol Player. Our student athletes were led by basketball players Robert Moore and Pearl Moore, both All-Americans and Hall of Famers. A baseball player, Mike Wilson, All-American, Hall of Famer, pro player, but he's best known today as Michael Wilson's dad. Thanks to Wayne Huggins, another Hall of Fame baseball player who caught the dedication game on March the 5th, 1974, for all of his support. And I think he had 2 hits that day. And to Mickey Leviner, who pitched into the 8th inning of that first South Carolina game, which we would have probably won if the old coach hadn't taken Mickey out. Thanks to Spider Webb and Mike Hawkins, the only trainer in SID we have ever known. Thanks to my brother Kim and sister Virginia, who did the chores on the farm while I gallivanted and played baseball, basketball, and football. A special thanks to Dr. Sandy, my lovely wife of 50 years, who took care of home plate, raising 3 outstanding kids, Clay, Pam, and Minda, and at age 52, returned to NC State. I forgave her for that, and earned her doctorate. I am so proud to have our 6 grandkids, Ava, Hannah, Jake, Leah, Luke, and Summer, in attendance. This is a very special day for my family and I. We really appreciate it. Thanks so much.
The next facility to be recognized is Lake Coleman, named in honor of William W. Coleman, Jr. If Mr. Coleman would please join Dr. Carter at the podium. Mr. Coleman is an alumnus, friend, supporter, advocate, and trustee of Francis Marion University. A 1971 graduate, he has served more than 2 decades as a member of the university's Board of Trustees, including 2 terms as chair of the board. A distinguished and respected resident and businessman of Florence, he has worked tirelessly on behalf of the university and his community. The lake is dedicated to honor this enthusiastic proponent of FMU athletics for his unwavering service and commitment to the faculty, staff, and students at Francis Marion University.
Y'all safe? Athletic Director Hartzler told me I had 3 minutes. I think he's scared I talked too long. What a great honor to be the recipient of a facility naming. And I also would like to thank Dr. Carter, the faculty, the staff, and the Board of Trustees for giving me this distinction. Thank you, Rosamond, for always being supportive of me. Thank you all my sisters here and family tonight. My love affair with Frances Marion began in 1970 as a student and continues today, 42 years later. I have had 8 family members who have received graduate and undergraduate degrees from Frances Marion. My mother, who is with me in spirit today, always told me that to be successful, one must give something back to the community. I don't know how successful I've been, but I have lived by her philosophy of trying to give something back. What a better place to give something back and show support than Frances Marion. I love this school and all of you here today. Thank you all for coming, and thank you again for this honor.
The next facility to be recognized is Hartzler Soccer Field, named in honor of Murray G. Hartzler. If Mr. Hartzler would please join Dr. Carter at the podium. Murray Hartzler, the Director of Athletics at FMU since 2000, joined the Frances Marion University staff in 1994 as head coach of the men's soccer program, and a year later he established the Patriot women's soccer program. Registering a combined record of 242 wins, 141 losses, and 17 ties at FMU, he is the most successful coach in the history of both programs. After 23 seasons as a head coach at the collegiate level, Murray left his role as soccer coach to concentrate fully on his role as Director of Athletics in 2006. The soccer field is dedicated in Murray's name to honor his extraordinary vision, relentless hard work, and significant accomplishments at Frances Marion University.
This is pretty humbling, especially because of the 5 people that are also recognized here. You know, there was somebody told me once, it's not about duration, it's about donation. But what you have before you with these 5 other gentlemen is a long history of doing great things for Frances Marion and their community, great donation over a long period of time. And I'm just a neophyte compared to them. You know, Mr. Sparrow has not just been good to FMU, but to his community, to other institutions. And his legacy, you know, was going to live on. And I can't thank him enough for his donation for helping us out. Mr. Coleman, you know, he's Board of Trustees, his service to the Board of Trustees is just minor what he's done. You know, he helps us out with our athletic auction here at Frances Marion as one example. But he has a lifetime dedicated to Frances Marion in his service, and I thank him for that. You know, Griffin, Hawkins, and Webb, you know, for better or worse, Griff hired me. But you'd cut their veins open, they're going to bleed red, white, and blue. Absolutely bleed it. There's no people that are more loyal to this universe. None. It's really unmatched. Every week, I'll get a call or I'll talk to somebody about the impact those 3 have made on people's lives. It happens continually. And I feel bad for people that didn't get to know them over the course of the student athletes. Really do. You know, all 5 have great integrity. All 5 have told me things that sometimes you don't want to hear. You know, they're very honest, very blunt people, and I really appreciate that. You know, I really respect that. And I'm very blessed to call 5 of them my friends. You know, I also have to thank the administration, the faculty, the staff, physical plant. You don't accomplish anything great in life or anything in life without support of those people. I think I came to realize that early on in my career when I made some stupid mistakes. and you realize how important all those people are to any success. And you can't do that without the support of the administration, faculty, staff, the grounds crew, you know, the cleaning personnel. All of them are important. They just all are from that. You know, there's a saying in athletics that to make a good chicken salad, you have to have good chicken ingredients. And I've been very blessed with some great players, you know, through my time at the last school I was at Francis Marion, All-Americans. And, you know, without them, you can't succeed. You just can't. Just flat out. And I'm glad a number of them are still in my life, still talk to them on a daily basis, and I'm really pleased for that. And then finally, my family. You know, my youngest couldn't be here, Ian, but he was real pleased when the facility, the field did not have Murray G. Hartzler, just said Hartzler Field because he claims it for his own. You know, but he's right. He really is right. You know, the honor belongs to him. Excuse me, the rest of my family. My sons, Justin and Ian, they are some of the most, you know, and people probably won't believe this, but they're some of the most compassionate people I ever know, caring people. And I learn from them on a weekly basis on how to treat people. You know, Fred Kuhn's here, you know, he called my wife a saint, and it's of no surprise. It's no surprise that he's the first person to say that, and he won't be the last. I'm eternally grateful for my family, for all the time I spent away from them, and for how they've supported my career. And I really appreciate this honor. Thank you. Now I get the great honor of doing the last two honorees. The next facility is in recognition of the Hawkins Press Box and named to honor Michael G. Hawkins, who is now already here. Michael G. Hawkins is the Associate Athletic Director for Media Relations and Marketing at Francis Marion University. He began his career service as a news writer and sports information director in 1985. He's a graduate of Francis Marion. He arrived on campus in 1970 as a young child, while his father served as a member of the founding faculty. During his college years, Michael was a student sports information director and has remained passionate about Patriot athletics ever since. The dedication of the press box recognizes his lifelong commitment to the university and his outstanding performance in promoting Patriot athletics in the region and the state.
Well, gosh, Murray, now I've got to follow that. First, I would like to thank Dr. Carter and the administration and the Board of Trustees for this humbling honor. I'd also like to thank Murray and Coach Griffin, the two athletic directors that I have had the privilege to work with over the past 26 years. There are so many other on-campus folks that have assisted me over the years. It's been a great team to work with. If I tried to name them all, I'm sure I would leave somebody out. But I would like to acknowledge the late Bob Ward, Jerry Smith, and Gary Ballard, the public relations directors with whom I worked before moving down campus to the athletic office. Thanks to the coaches that I've been able to work with. And thanks to English professor Bob Parham, who challenged me with my sports writing during my undergraduate years. I'd also like to thank Mr. Dow Hammond and Allie Brooks for their guidance at Wilson High School, without which I might not have ended up in this career field. When I did not make the JV basketball team in the 10th grade, my dreams of playing in the NBA died. Go figure. However, Mr. Hammond asked me if I'd be interested in keeping stats, and thus my career path was diverted. I may not have made it to the NBA, but last summer I followed NBA Commissioner David Stern in introducing an inductee for the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame, so that was pretty cool. I want to thank my mom and dad, for taking me to all those ball games, and my brother and sister for putting up with all those sports and numbers and trivia. Alan, I can remember 1972 when FMC played Toccoa Falls in the Florence YMCA. And I'm listening to Paul Sexton with his pregame show on the radio. He was our play-by-play guy. And I remember telling my dad, we got to hurry. There are not going to be any seats left. We got to hurry. And we got a seat. Mostly, I want to thank my favorite point guard of all time, and that's my wife, Kim, and also my kids, Lee and Dakota. Through the years, all three of them, along with my dad, have filled in and assisted me in keeping stats at various games. How many spouses and children know what a dead ball rebound is? Mostly, though, my wife and children have allowed me to continue in this career, one that takes up long hours at night and on the weekends. All three fully understand SID time, meaning when they ask me how much longer, and I say 45 minutes, they know it's going to be 2 hours. Well, Kim, tonight there's no stats and no story to write. So when the program's over, I get to go home. Thank you.
In the next facility, we recognize as Web Plaza, named in honor of Spider Webb. Spider, will you please join Dr. Carter? Spider Webb has served more than 39 years as the head athletic trainer for Francis Marion University. A native of Florence and in 1978 graduated Francis Marion, he's been affectionately called the cornerstone of the athletic department in recognition of the many roles he plays and the caring and assistance he renders. An avid sports fan, he has provided consistent and exemplary service to thousands of student athletes and coaches through the years. The Plaza provides a visible and permanent acknowledgement of his unwavering loyalty as the longest-serving member of the FMU Athletic Department. Thanks.
My goal is to get through this without being all over the place. So, good afternoon, and first I'd like to thank Dr. Carter and the Board of Trustees for this tremendous honor. An expression I like to use is, every dog has fleas, and I have more than my fair share, and my friends and the coaches all know that, so that's just the way it is. But everything positive in my life that I've accomplished started off with my mom and my late dad, Joe and Elise Webb. I can't begin to let y'all know how much they mean to me, and this honor is a reflection of the values and compassion for people that they gave me. As for those flea moments in my life, they are all of my doing, I promise you. I also will not be standing here today without the help, love, and understanding and guidance of several key coaches in my life. I'm not sure if he got here, but Latson Cubbage was a coach at McClinigan High School, and it's funny what Michael said, that how much high school coaches and coaches matter. But Coach Cubbage was a great evaluator of talent, and he understood at the very beginning that there he is right over there, that I was not going to be a college football player. So Coach Cubbage, he gave me my name as Spider, and he encouraged me to stay involved in athletics, but consider being an athletic trainer. It was a life-changing suggestion for me. He also took a 15-year-old kid and gave him a purpose and support to achieve what has become a lifelong joy for me. Coach, I can't begin to thank you, man. And here at Francis Marion, Coach Griffin, Coach Lewis Hill, and the late Tom Davidson are the reasons that I made it this far. I'm standing here today because of them, because they allowed me to endeavor to persevere, And without their patience and understanding and a whole lot of love from those guys, I wouldn't have made it to this point in my life. I love them, respect them, and owe those guys more than I can ever repay to them. And I would also like to thank all the other coaches that I've had the privilege to work with here at Francis Marion. They have made my life better through my association with them. There are too many to name, so I'm not starting. The greatest asset in life, I really believe, are your best friends, because they're not your family and they don't have to like you. Best friends are folks that know you really well and still believe in you. And believe it or not, I have quite a few of those. I love you. You know who you are. You're the best. And thank you for being a part of my life. Also, the young men and women who have comprised the Patriot athletic teams. That's what this is really about, my friends. They are the reason I have had the greatest job for the last 39 years. I can't begin to explain what these athletes have meant to me. They made a bad day good. They made a rainy day out there a sunny day every day for me. And they put a million smiles on my face. I owe so many great people for this moment. To each and every one, thank you. Again, to my mom and my late dad and my sister Joanne, I love you guys. I hope everyone will enjoy my plaza, the Spider Web Plaza. You're darn right I'm taking it. I hope you guys enjoy it as much as I do. It's really cool. Again, thank you, Dr. Carter and the Board of Trustees, for allowing me for this honor and for my 3 minutes and probably 35 seconds. I took a little bit of somebody's time, but you know what? I love this place. I love you guys. And everyone here, thank you very much.
Well, you know, it falls on me to make a few concluding remarks today, but first of all, I'd like to explain the scar and the stitches on my head. It's a very simple story. Harris Pastides, the USC president, saw the billboards. It's a little humor, just a little humor. But you should see him. Let me first of all take, on a serious note, let me thank a few other people that are here this morning who played a marvelous role in the development of that facility across the way. Mike Woolen with Odell Architects, Gal Gupta with Odell Architects. Are you, Mike? Gal, are you? Stand up. Let's give them an applause. They designed one heck of a facility. Chris Royster with Martin Engineering. Chris, are you here? Chris, thank you very much. Let's. Now, I want to recognize a person who's usually at war with us on projects, but this time she was our strongest and best advocate. From the State Engineer's Office, Margaret Jordan. Margaret, would you stand up, please? Thank you for all your help. Now the FMU team. And if you would each stand and remain standing, and then we'll applaud all of you in the end. Teresa Cook, Ralph Davis, Fred Kuntz, Pat Boswell, Jay Kispert, and dozens of FMU facilities, maintenance, and custodial personnel that brought this project to completion in an extraordinary way. Thank you very much. Let me say thanks to the donors, and I want to pause here just a second to talk a little bit about Mr. Sparrow. Something I told him a couple of weeks ago. Mr. Sparrow had not come in and brought us that initial check that facility would not be today where it is. It was that initial check that provided this university the impetus to proceed with the planning, the design, and the construction of that facility. Now, to the extent I already had enough to love Mr. Sparrow about with that first check, he came back a month later and said, by the way, I think I'd like to endow 2 endowed chairs as well. That truly melted my heart. So, John Sparrow and the Sparrow family, thank you very much for bringing this facility. And then I've got to take a second and talk about Coach Griffin, Coach Hartzler, Michael Spider, and our honorary coach, W. Coleman, okay? You know, I guess like Spider, I've reached the point in my life and the age where I can really say unabashedly, I love people. And the 5 of you I love dearly, not only for everything that you've done to make athletics what it is at Francis Marion, but for everything the 5 of you have done to establish the foundation for this university, like our beloved Dr. Smith, for us to build on it in the decades and generations ahead. Gentlemen, everything you do reflects positively on this university. Thank you for what you've done, and thank you for allowing us to honor you today. Finally, with a big smile, thanks to the trustees. Remember, none of this would have occurred today if the trustees had not sanctioned our ability to go ahead, build the facility, generate the loan to establish it, and essentially approve the recognition of every one of the honorees today. We have 17 terrific men and women serving on our board of trustees. They serve without compensation, and they're called to do an enormous task for the university. I'm deeply appreciative of your service. Thank you very much. Finally, Murray's asked me to make this comment. This is a great facility, but it'll be much greater if all of you come out to all of the games, bring everybody in your neighborhood, and contribute strongly to athletics at Francis Marion University. Having said that, have a nice day. There's plenty of food outside, and I understand that Murray will have the facility open. Assuming it doesn't rain this afternoon, he'll take some tours through. Thank you for coming. Bye-bye.
Dr. Carter, I was blind with my notes. I couldn't read them. But Ray Fames, our #1 fan, let's give him a round of applause.
Yeah.